That was so good.
That was good.
Welcome.
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 Welcome back to the Unhinged BookCast. This is a book podcast hosted by two book besties. I'm LJ.
And I'm Jess. Whether this is your first time joining or you've been here from the start, we are happy and thankful you are joining us.
Whether we're deep diving into thoughts and theories or just riding the vibes, we love discussing our current reads with each other and now with all of you.
Tonight we are discussing the Nytefall Trilogy by Chloe Penaranda. Tonight is our sixth episode with this series. And tonight we are discussing Book 3, The Dark is Descending, with chapters 1 through 29.
You can join our discussions chapter by chapter in our club on the Fable app without spoilers. We have one book club for our current series and another for our Book Besties Thursdays.
Book Besties Thursdays is more of a monthly book club where we read a book together and discuss it as a whole, just like a book club. We are currently reading Direbound by Sable Sorensen.
Make sure to follow, like, and subscribe on Facebook, Instagram, Fable, and right here on YouTube for new episodes, updates, and fun book related content.
And don't forget to share, it helps us grow and reach new friends. But before we get started, we need to give a quick content warning.
We are reading romantic fantasy books, which tend to include violence, open door romance, and other mature themes.
Though our conversations tend to skirt these topics, we do frequently use naughty words that are not intended for little listening ears.
But before we get started tonight, happy birthday to the podcast.
Yes, we've been podcasting for a whole year now. I can't believe it.
I know it's really weird.
It is. It went by fast.
We were just talking the other day at the bachelorette party about how like this all started, how it was just kind
Mm-hmm.
of a okay, let's do it. We just went for it.
Totally on the spur of the moment thing, and it's been so fun. I
You
have
said
thoroughly
yes.
enjoyed
Okay,
it.
you said
I
yes.
said yes. Best
You were
decision of my
joking,
life.
but you said yes at first, and now it's not a joke anymore.
Nope. Nope. It's so much fun. It's like the highlight of my week.
Mine too.
Yeah.
All right. So, new characters. I think we only have like a couple new names, but I don't think we
Mhm.
really fully meet anyone new. But we have some extra information we've learned
Yeah,
about
we
these
got some
characters.
character development here. So, starting off with Taryn, we find out that he is not just an elder vampire, but he's actually the son of two of what's her name? Because I
Estrella.
didn't Estrella,
I was
good
like, who's
Lord.
Ams?
I almost just said Andromeda. That don't know where that came from. My note got all messed up. Okay, let's anyways. So he is not just an elder vampire. We were talking about him and like kind of debating on
Yeah,
who he was,
either last time
where
or the
he
time
came
before.
from, all
Yeah.
that stuff. Yeah. So he is actually the son of two of Estrella's guardians, which is the soulless vampire and the Fae guardians.
Hmm. And then we have Lavina, which is also another one of the siblings. And she's the daughter of two of the guardians, a shadowless and a celestial.
Hmm.
And she's like, I don't know, leading the vampire
The Vampire
resistance
Rebellion. Yeah, I
rebellion.
guess so.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of him as.
So that's what
Yeah.
she's like over there leading.
And she's like, none of them are actually related, Taryn or Laviana or the the twins, which we'll get to here
Twins.
in a
Yeah.
second. They're not actually related, but they're all a product of two of the bonds from her guardians, so they all consider themselves kind of like siblings.
Hmm.
So, yeah. And then we have Gresham. So Gresham was, because Gresham is no more,
Hmm.
but Gresham was Terrence bonded, and Estrella actually killed him for killing innocents. And I think he was vampire. I can't remember what kind, but
I think so too.
yep.
And then we have the twins, which is the information we have.
No names or
But
anything.
yeah,
Both boys, that's all we know, I think.
yep.
But
Yeah. And then they are night crawlers that are also of sibling relationship type deal to Estrella. Um, and I would assume that they would be Fae
let's
and
see.
Celestial, right?
They all have vampire in them. So there's a Solus and a
Oh,
Fae
okay.
is Terran, and then Laviana is
The
Shadowless and
Shadowless.
Celestial. So then the twins, I think, are Nightcrawler
Oh, it says night
and
crawlers.
okay,
Oh, what else would it be though? Nightcrawler and
I think they said
Fae.
celestial. Maybe Fae. It could be either one because
Yeah, I guess so.
there's no other type there.
Human.
Which I will say because we didn't
Human.
put this
They're
in
humans
note.
because one of them's a human.
You're right, one of them is human. Yep,
So
yep,
it would
yep.
probably be the human and
Okay,
the,
so
what do we say,
Shadow or
Nightcrawler?
Nightcrawler, yeah, Nightcrawler and human.
Okay.
Which I did find interesting because we did not put this in notes as far as I looked through there. That the offspring took on the vampire qualities, not the celestial
Mm-hmm.
fae or human qualities. They took on and are known by their vampire qualities. So
Which is interesting.
it is interesting. Very, very interesting. Not sure
Okay.
why yet, but it is interesting.
Yeah. And then the last known place, and I think this was in a flashback, that the twins
Yeah,
were are in the North Star.
I think it was a flashback.
Yeah. So who knows how long ago this was, if they'll be
Right.
coming back, if they're just doing their own damn thing, which I would be. But
Yeah. Okay, and then we have Xander, and he is a vampire from a meeting that they had from the meeting. I don't know, I think it was like a rebellion meeting of some sort. Um,
oh yeah,
I don't know. I think he's with Laviana. I didn't put great notes here.
I
Um,
think so
but
too.
he wants, I do remember that he wants to use Estrella like against the Celestials. He's like, why we don't want to ally with her. Let's capture her and usually use her as a bargaining chip, basically. I
Yeah.
don't know if he's going to come back or not, but that was one of our new names.
Edisic, the blue dragon that is awoken and ends up bonding with Oster.
Did you listen to it?
Yes.
Okay, so that's how you say that, Edisic?
Hmm.
I was not sure. I was like, Adasic? I was having a really hard time with that one. Edisic. Okay.
I mean, that's what it sounded like on two times speed, but
Okay, and then we have it's either Malin or Malin. Which one's it?
Malin,
Malin. I didn't even get that one. Okay, Malin
Malin
Ashfire.
Ashfire.
Okay,
Hmm.
so truthfully, I'm slightly confused, but what I got from this is that this is Knight and Dristan's older brother from their father, but with a different mother.
No. So this is
Okay,
um Knight and Malin have the same mother.
okay.
Dristan has a different mother.
So they put okay.
Dryston has a different mother.
Is it Dryston? Is that how you say that?
Dryston, yeah.
Dryston.
I
Interesting. I'm
always
gonna have
say
a hard time
Driston
switching that.
and Dresden. It's cool. It's fine. Read the Dresden Files by Jim Butcher. Fabulous books. Anyway, but
Okay,
Malin
so
Ashfire is
Malin. I swore that they said that when the king, that Malin was like a disappointment to the king because he didn't have enough power. So then he found Knight's mother because she was super powerful, had Knight on purpose because he knew what kind of power he would have from the mother that he
but the
had.
king thinks Malin is dead. They have
Right,
the
I know
same
that.
mom. I know that.
They do have the same.
Hmm.
I feel like
It's
I know that they have different.
it's Dristan that doesn't have the same mom.
I know he doesn't have the same mom, but I thought all three of them had different moms.
I don't think so.
But okay, and then another weird thing, Ashfire, that is Estrella's last name. Is it
No,
Estrella?
it's
No.
not.
Somebody else has the Ashfire. Okay, never mind. It's Rain Knight. Rain Knight. I'm messing up my brain.
Rain Knight Azrael
I
Ashfire.
thank you. I was reading the entire since we saw that last name in the book, I was reading it thinking it was Estrella's last name and trying to figure out how the hell they weren't related.
They're creepily related. It's okay.
They're
They're only
not
third
related.
cousins removed.
Oh my gosh. Well, that cleared up a lot of things for me. Thank you. We
You're
don't
like, ew,
have
gross.
incest in this book. Goodness.
Uh,
Okay, we should move on. I
we
derailed
should.
us.
So, location, location, location. So, what I have for this week is just this rift between life and death, which I find
Yeah.
interesting. And I feel like it's going to come back.
And I feel
Um,
like you called that space, that place, like we hadn't known about that in the
mhm.
last episode, but you
Because
were
I
like,
think
they're not going to
that's
meet up in
where
the stars.
I
They're going to
think
meet
in
up in
the
this
end
place.
that they're going to be in a different realm
Yeah.
together or like in a space between life and death.
Yeah. You called
Um,
that without like calling the details, obviously, because we didn't have them, but you did a good job on that one.
yep, yep. And I still think that that's going to happen, but now I have the rift between life and death.
Hmm.
And then we finally have the freaking mirror come back into play.
Yeah.
And it's been hiding in the mountains in North Star. And that's all I've got.
Okay. North Star bothered me.
Why?
I don't, okay. It's across the veil, right? It's like this
Well, there
place
is no
where,
veil anymore.
right, there's no veil anymore, but it was across the veil when there was a veil.
Hmm.
It not frustrates me, bothers me. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like all of a sudden we're like, oh, I mean, yeah, you can see it on the map, but it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna go to this enchanted place and magic doesn't exist. And apparently there's dragons flying overhead in this place. And I don't know what it was about it that it was like supposed to be this big secret, but then all of a sudden we're just there. And it was like anticlimactic. I don't know. Something about this bothered me in the writing.
How anticlimactic,
Maybe that's why.
I almost said chlamydia. I don't even know why.
Anti-chlamydia.
Anti-chlamydia. We are anti-chlamydia
We
over here.
are.
Get yourself checked. Don't be silly,
Anticlimactic.
wrap your willy. Okay. But I do kind of agree with that. It was just kind of like, oh,
I felt like there
we're
could have
just
been a
gonna go
lot more
there. Okay.
plot
Yeah. Or
around that
slightly more build
place.
up to it.
Yeah.
Or finding the mirror, which he was trying to do until he remembered where it was
And that
because
made
Tristan had
sense.
found it.
Right. I don't know. I just felt like the Celestials could have gone there anytime they wanted to, basically. It's on their side of the
But the
veil.
Celestials don't know about it.
Okay, that's my problem though. How do they not know about it? Because it on the map anyway, it looks like there's basically a river. I know it's probably bigger than that, but it looks like a river parting that piece of the land from Althenia. So now
Yeah.
I'm going on a map rant tonight.
Yeah, it's okay.
I don't know why. That just I felt like it was just like all of a sudden we were like, here's a really big piece of information, but it had very little build up. I didn't like that.
Agreed. But it's obviously a huge player in this
It is
entire, like
definitely
that's how he
huge,
got here.
which is
And
also
that's how
why I'm
we're jumping
frustrated
realms
about it.
by the king.
Right.
He's just spreading that seed,
Jeez.
going out for milk and not coming back.
Yes, he is.
All right. History and
History.
stories from the past. What do we have?
All right, so starting in chapter 15, and this was a flashback chapter. Um, so this is in the past, but we learned that the vampires at that time had long been suppressed and used by the Celestials. The Nightcrawlers hunted Nephilim for them. The Shadowless were used for their allurement to gather info through the like aphrodisiac effect that they released when they drank someone's blood, so they were able to pull information from them through that. And the Soulless were used to consume entire souls, like criminals and the worst of mankind and whatever. Which we kind of knew that the Celestials were, or yeah, that the Celestials were using the vampires, but that was like the history a little bit more on it. So,
Mhm. Okay. So, chapter 19, let's talk about this
hmm
walk with death that
Yeah.
Astrea has. And this is in the temple, right? When they're
No,
trying to find the key piece.
this is when she's in between. I think this is when she's in between
Okay, I
places.
can't remember, but
One way or another, she's talking with Death,
yeah, she's talking with death.
the god of death.
And he's saying about how he's like what, like superior to Dusk and Dawn, more or less, or that Dusk and
Basically,
Dawn
that
aren't
he's a
really.
primordial, he says. He like alludes to the fact that he like created everything, including them. It kind of sounds.
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that there was archangels with
Mm-hmm.
black wings.
Yes.
So I was like, oh man, right? And then but like Dusk and Dawn wanted to play God more or less, and that's
Mm-hmm.
when they created their own version of the archangels with the white feathered wings and called
Which
them
is the Celestials.
celestials.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes me very curious too. But
And then Estrella says that like some are still born that way, and Death says to her, and she's like, some are still born that way. It's not a curse, is it? And he says, no, those born with black wings have archangel blood in their heritage that awakens.
mhm. So that was like
Yeah.
all like the people that they cast out and stuff like that.
And then he says like that the four high celestials swear to enforce, this is from the book. The four high celestials swear to enforce and hold in secrecy this knowledge when they are chosen by dusk and dawn. So the tales of their predecessors are never known.
So that means Oster and all his brothers know this information.
Right.
And Zephyr, who's supposed to be like her friend, knows this
Mm-hmm.
information. But that would
Mm-hmm.
make sense why he made this like underground
Fortress,
fortress
hideaway.
for them,
Yeah.
for the ones that had their wings cut off and the
Right.
cast outs and stuff like that.
Right.
So that kind of makes sense that he did that. Um, but it's so confusing.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, but then also he explains how he's like basically the only one that can give passage
Yeah.
to the beyond for souls or whatever. And so that like when they are releasing souls to the stars, it's basically just creating starlight matter and just
Yeah.
feeding the gods and the celestials, which is wild.
Yeah, Death says, and this is just a little chunk from the book. He says, Dusk and Dawn have been meddling with the divine order. They have long been stealing from me, for I need the souls for my realm to survive. All things must die.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Super interesting, super different. And then I like how Estrella, I guess it like towards the end of that chapter was like, so can I ask you one question? What is after death? Because they'd always been told that they become a star, they go to the stars or whatever. But there's nothing there. And Death even in like tells her that those who have been sent to the stars, they're not living the life that everyone thinks that they're living up there. And she thinks
Yep.
of Cassia and Calix when he says that. And that they have to be like, yeah, released to him so he can actually like release them into whatever is beyond. And she says, like, what is beyond? And I can't remember what he says, something like, isn't that the most exciting thing to think about, or something like that. And that's all he leaves her
I
with.
loved that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I meant to stop and put it in my notes for honorable mentions, but I forgot. But yeah, I liked that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he promises that he'll get her friends
Right.
where they need to go.
Yeah, I
So,
don't think Death is so bad. And the way that he acts
no,
like he's
it's
like the
not.
creator of everything, he is basically like the god, basically.
Hmm. And okay, she and Knight both have made deals with him
Mm-hmm.
or given them whatever. So I'm pretty sure, I don't know, but I know what I'm thinking, and it's part of my thoughts and theories. So we'll
Okay.
get there when we get there.
Okay.
But I think I've been on the right track since like book one.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yes.
Can't wait to hear. Okay. Anything else on that?
Nope.
All right. So, chapter 25, we find out how Knight found himself trapped in the library like 2 centuries ago. And I put this in history because I was curious. I've always been curious, like, how did this
Yeah.
super powerful guy end up trapped? So, his father had told him that he would take him to the North Star, to the Mirror of Passage, so that he could go back to his home realm. But
Hmm.
instead, his father brought him under the library and then trapped him behind the veil. And
And I
then,
think that's what the prologue of the first book is.
yes,
Yeah.
I think you're right. And then furthermore, his father's mind, so we also find out here that his father's mind has always been too strong. Knight says has always been too strong for him to infiltrate. Um, and his father found a mage powerful enough to erase small pieces of memory. So he had the location of the mirror wiped from his memory so that if Knight ever did successfully get into his mind, he wouldn't even be able to find that information and leave him because he
Hmm.
needed Knight's death. And so he erased that information so he would always have to stay.
Hmm. Also, chapter 25, Knight has an older brother. We talked about that a little bit
We
in
did,
names.
which was
So,
crazy to find out though.
yes. And so I'm assuming this is where this crossover that we didn't really talk about. So at the beginning of, if you get this on Kindle Unlimited, it has like this, not necessarily warning, but like, hey, there's a crossover from my other series here. And so I'm
Right.
assuming um, an Heir Comes to Rise, I think is the first book.
Hmm.
Um, but it's like 6 books, and we didn't know about it until now. And you should have read them in a different order if you were going to read both of them.
Hmm.
And so I think we've both decided that at some point we're both going to go back and read An Air Comes to
Definitely.
Rise. But
The
it's
first
just,
one is free on Kindle Unlimited. I already have it downloaded,
do
actually.
you? Okay.
Hmm.
Um, but it's not going to happen. So if you were hoping we were going to do the multiverse of Chloe Penaranda, we're not. We just don't have time for that.
Right.
But we want to. Um, but yes, but I'm assuming that's where the crossover is. I bet it's
Hmm.
the older brother story that the king thought was dead.
Yep, and I think the mom comes into play in
That one
those
too.
books too, I bet.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. And then Knight was this brother that was taken away to do other nefarious things with.
right. Yep, crazy. Okay,
We
and then
got one more.
speaking of Knight's mom, so chapter 28, we find out that she is very powerful, which we did learn last book that she's a goddess. Um, Again, I'm sure that this is probably in the other series, but so she's very powerful. She has orange hair, and it kind of sounds like she has a temper to match that orange hair, because apparently she started this like massive war in their realm back when she lost Knight to his father, when when the king took Knight through through the mirror or whatever. She threw a massive temper tantrum and started a huge war in their realm.
And you know what this made me think of?
Hmm.
Okay, like a phoenix, and they both
Yeah.
have the Phoenix constellation or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, were they both meant to be in a different realm?
Yeah.
My thought was like,
Yeah.
okay, were they both supposed to be over in that realm? And that's why they have the Phoenix constellation, and they both shouldn't be here. And Dusk
Maybe.
and Dawn brought her here. Just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, because they always say that Dusk and Dawn are not her parents necessarily. They didn't like birth
But they
her. They
created her.
created her. Which who knows
But
how
she had
true
white
that
wings,
is.
or has white wings.
She has white wings, yeah. But they turned black with death
Yeah,
when she became Light's death.
which
But
means she has
yeah.
archangels in her.
Yeah. Does she though? Or is it because of is her black wings because of the death? I was
I don't
wondering
know.
that. I don't know
I'm
either.
not sure. It could be either. I'm not sure though. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's my like kind of slightly unhinged thought here, but it
Hmm.
goes along with what I think. So let's move into plot points. Um, my first one is in chapter 2. Eli is gone and with us.
I
That asshole. He stole our baby dragon.
know. I know. I hate that.
Oh, I still forgot to take my picture. I'll hopefully by the time we actually air this, then I can take a picture of my baby dragon and up on my shoulder and put
Oh,
it up
right, right. Yep.
right here. Ding ding ding.
Yeah.
Okay. So and then also chapter 2, Knight has been unconscious for 2 weeks at this point. Because
Hmm.
now I'm like, oh no, what is going on in his unconsciousness?
Hmm.
So I was really tallying this, even though it doesn't seem like it was all that important. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, she does say at the end, she asks him, like, where did you go? And we start finding little pieces of where his mind went during that
that's
time.
true. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. And then chapter 3, this is both in chapter 3 and in chapter 25. Okay. Because so first in chapter 3, we find out that, like, not find out, but they keep alluding to the fact that Nadir is like a seer or clairvoyant or something like that. They're
Yes.
like, is it whatever he's smoking in that pipe or what's up
Yes.
with
Hmm.
him? And he also, and then this is chapter 25, Knight realizes, looking around, that he has like a full armory disguised as like this gentle house. But he has like poisonous plants growing all around, and he's got, I'm just imagining like his kitchen, like utensils. They're just like a spoon, but it's made
Like
out
James
of
Bond shit. Yeah.
obsidian or something like that, or
Because it's
whatever.
like it's an armory not just for like one foe, it's for like
All
every
of
kind of
them.
creature.
Yep,
And we don't know what nadir is.
right. Well, they say he's human mage,
Say he's a human mage, but I don't
but
know
even
if I
his
believe
appearance,
that
when they
either.
describe his appearance, it seems like creature like, not human
Hmm.
at all.
Agreed.
Hmm.
Agreed.
I think Nadir's going to be a big player in
in
the
the
end of this
end.
book somehow.
I think so
Yeah.
too. I think
Hmm.
he could be. Okay. I also have chapter 4. So this is when Astera decides she's gonna sneak out on her own little mission to go get Eli, and then Dristan comes along with her.
Yeah.
Good thing too. So
Yeah.
also in chapter 4, the stars are still falling and like causing explosions, which is
Hmm.
a big situation. Um, and then which I because okay, so like when night falls, the world would drown in starlight, right?
Hmm.
So they're like shooting stars
Right.
basically falling from the sky, falling explosions. So that's why I'm like, okay, when night is dead, is that a problem? And is the prophecy more or less from like his family in the other realm and his
Yeah.
mother? Like that was my thought. And it has
Yeah.
nothing to do with Estrella, but maybe
Yeah,
his
that we're almost
mom's
sitting here
pissed off.
thinking that like, oh, that's a good thing. Night falls the world around starlight. Like that sounds like a good thing, but maybe not. And it kind of sounds
Yeah.
like
Maybe it's
not.
a different kind of prophecy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah. And then I also had, and then like in chapter 7, she dies and then wakes up somewhere else and finds Night's death. And that is this rift between life and death, is what
Mhm.
Night's death ends up telling her in chapter 8. And when she comes back from this rift between life and death, she brings Night Death with her. And
Hmm.
now Night and Night's Death are separate entities. So she has been able to separate them,
Hmm.
which is what the task that she needed to do to be able to kill Night's Death anyway.
Right. And then chapter 11. So apparently the guardians asked their children, which would be Taryn, Laviana, and the twins, which we don't know their names, but they tasked them with like continuing to look after Estrella before they
Mm-hmm.
pass on to their eternal resting place or whatever. They had asked them to like look after her, which they kind of are and kind of aren't. They're not doing a great job, I don't think, at this point. But
Well, who knows? Taryn seems very
Taryn's
neutral.
got yeah, Taryn's got irons in every fire right now.
Yeah, he seems very neutral.
Yeah,
The twins we haven't seen.
nope. But I
And
think we will.
then La Laviana or whatever, she seems very one-sided.
Oh yeah, she's totally for the vamps, it seems.
Yeah, willing to use Estrella.
Mm-hmm.
Um, chapter 12. So Oster was in cahoots with the king.
Yeah, which we saw coming, I think, but
Yeah,
still, fuck him. Sorry,
but
but
like in the past life as well.
yep.
That's why he sent the vampires to kill her
Oh
or
yeah,
try to
that's
kill her
been
to see who if she'd come running back to him to bond with him or if
yes.
she'd go to night. And then when she went to night, that's how he knew that they were bonded or whatever
Yeah.
in her previous life. And the king was the one that told him to do that.
Yep.
Um, and then also in chapter 12, Oster says, 3 days to the wedding, bitch.
Jeez,
And
that
like,
sucked.
I mean, I feel like she should be nervous, but maybe she should just be planning to kill him. And I think it's really funny because of things we were talking about before this. Our friend's
Mm-hmm.
not going to kill any
Mm-hmm.
other friends, but I'm just saying, like, it was really funny
It
that I
was.
seen this note after our earlier conversations. 3 days till the wedding. Ding, ding, ding.
Oh man.
We should move on before we get on that rabbit
Yep.
train again. Okay, chapter 13. Oster drugs her with the starlight matter because he's a fucking douche.
Gosh, I can't stand him. And this whole time, I mean, she's just
Mm-hmm.
constantly like, "Oh, I want to the friendship we had though, the friendship we had." I'm
I
like,
know. She wants to be
"Ugh,
nice to him, even when he's a douche canoodle.
good for her.
For
You know what? She's a
hundreds and
better
hundreds of
person than me
years. She's a way better
because,
person than me.
geez,
I
that
would have
guy.
just socked him in the face every time I
Yeah,
had the chance.
that guy. Mm.
I would have taken my cool little staff thing, key thing, and I would have just punched him in the forehead with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
Little throat punch
because.
action going on here.
Just like walk in a room, I'd do it.
Okay, and then also in 13, I was like, apparently Oster's responsible for everything bad that happens, which is like funny but not funny
True.
because it's kind of true because apparently we find out that it was Oster who sent the vampires that ended up killing Cassia that night. They
Oh
were
yeah, that's
actually
right.
supposed to go for Estrella and they were supposed to capture her, but then somehow they ended up killing Cassia and Estrella got away. This guy.
He's something else, man.
Which is also, though, I did think about this interesting because the blame was placed on Calix. So was Calix also in league with Oster this whole time, or was he just a convenient pawn? Because remember, like, I think it was book one or two, where Calix was like, yeah, that was on me because I wanted them to kill you because I knew you weren't good for Cassia to Estrella. And then here we're finding out that it was Oster that sent them and they were supposed to capture Estrella. So I was a little confused on that. So was Calix just a scapegoat situation?
Um, no, I'm not sure.
I know. Remember that like came to my mind when I was writing this note. I was like, I thought
Yeah,
that was
but
Calix.
Calix is working with
The king,
the
no.
Lord, Cassia's dad.
Right. That's right. Ryan or Rayan or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And Calix kept being like, yeah, you're not good for her. You don't need to be around her. You're gonna get her killed or whatever.
Hmm.
And so supposedly he sent these vampires to go kill her. And then here we find out it was Oster who sent them to capture her and they end up killing Cassia. I
I
don't
think that was
know.
after. So I think the first time it was Calix was in the woods when we have like Zephyr or something like that saying that like, oh, Oscar will be sad he didn't come with us
Oh,
this time or
Zadkiel,
something like that.
not Zephyr, Zadkiel.
Oh yeah, whatever. I think it was
Was Calix there?
that
Oh,
time
yep,
that
he was.
Calix.
He was. You're right. And he paused. Remember, Calix like totally paused and hesitated. No, you're
It
right. I
was
forgot
that
about
time.
that situation. So maybe it was that time that they were supposed to capture her. And then the second time it maybe was, or I don't know.
I don't know either, but I think they're separate, is all I'm
I
saying.
forgot about that situation. So you're right. You're probably right there.
Okay. Chapter 15. So we are at the inn with Night's Death and Estrella, and just their banter back and forth, like when they're traveling together is fucking hilarious,
Yeah,
and I
it
love
was
it.
funny.
I love how he's just like, yeah, I could just kill you right now. I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, just leave me the fuck alone. So funny. But Lavi ends up poisoning her with Nebulora in her little favorite drink thing.
Mm-hmm.
And because she wants Estrella to get all the dragons for the vampires, because word has gotten out that like or Dryston and Estrella have these dragons.
Mm-hmm. And that Dryson was able to bond with one and all this stuff. And so,
And so they want to be able to bond them to
yeah.
vamps to give them an upper edge.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then chapter 18. So Knight's Death and Estrella make it to this dragon temple where they are going to go through the trials to get the key piece that
Mm-hmm.
she has left there. And she notices like the dragon outside of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then later in the chapter, they're doing the trial thing or whatever, and Oster is there.
Yep.
And then she ends Knight's Death,
Yeah.
which
Which like
was slightly anticlimactic.
it was. I agree with that.
I was shocked how anticlimactic that was.
I know. I know. I agree. I agree. Also, I was also very conflicted with Estrella during this whole conflict of like, do I find the humanity in Knight's death and that's what's gonna bring Knight back? Or do I kill him and that's what's gonna bring him back? But wait, if I kill him, is it gonna bring Knight? Is it gonna kill Knight? I was as just as conflicted as she was reading all this.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And then so the next chapter is when she is like having that meeting with Death that we talked about
That
when
we
we
talked
did
about. Yep.
history. Yeah.
And then also in that chapter, though, we find out, which we did not talk about in history, in chapter 19, is that Death tells Estrella that in order to kill Dusk and Dawn, Estrella must know their true names because if she knows their true names, then they will have to be obedient to her. They have, like, she'll be their ruler, basically. But even Death does not know their true names. So
It's
that's going
interesting.
to be a big player here coming into this.
And that's a Fae thing, which is
That's
weird.
totally a Fae thing. Oh, yeah. Like we said, there's lots of crossovers in this book with lots of other books. Like it's all
Yeah.
mashed in together. But not in a bad way. I'm
No,
not
I
hating it.
like
I
it.
like it.
This is like somebody read a whole bunch of like popular fantasy books and was like, this is what I do like, this is what I don't like, and I'm gonna
Yeah,
make my own story out of what I do like out of these things. And
definitely.
I mean, as long as you're not plagiarizing, I'm down with it. It's cool.
Yep.
Because I mean, I would rewrite some things in some books I've read before. Where I'm like, okay, no, I'd
Well,
fuck
yeah.
no, that's not
Yeah.
how this is gonna go. Yeah. So then, chapter 20, Night wakes after a month of being in Dreamland. Um, Also, in chapter 20, Eli has bonded with not only Night but also Estrella.
I love that.
It was cute.
It's
And
different.
then different, yeah. And then chapter 22, the blue dragon is awoken during this like battle with Oster by Eli. But
hmm
this is a big battle. It's like the Celestials with Oster, and then there's all the vampires that were chasing after Estrella because they want the
hmm
dragons, and it's just kind of a clusterfuck.
hmm
But yeah, so then Eli wakes up this dragon, and this dragon chooses Oster because, like, Knight says that the dragon tends to bond with who it sees needs it the most, or something like that.
Right.
And because it was very obvious because Estrella was like so overtaken by Light's death or whatever that
hmm
like she had way more of an advantage. And so that's why the dragon bonded with Oster because he was very
Yeah.
outmatched in that. And that was just kind of dumb, I thought,
Yeah,
personally.
don't
But
love that. Um, only thing I have to tell them is that when they wake up the rest of the dragons, they need to make sure there's not like a battle going on with their enemies
yes,
at the moment. Needs to be
which is
peaceful.
what they're headed to go do right now, the whole crew, which we'll get to
Yep.
that here in a second. But that's what we're headed to do. Chapter 24. Lilith tells Estrella that she's pretty sure she has like 3 weeks to live. So what happened was the battle with Oster, she kills Oster, right? But right as she notices that Oster has stabbed her with a knife or something like that that has Knight's blood on it. Because now Knight's blood can kill her and
hmm
her blood can kill him
hmm
and vice versa. So it has his blood on it. And so it makes like viney, dark dead things crawling up her body. It's kind of like spidering out of her.
hmm
Um, and so Lilith expects maybe she has about like 3 weeks left before it gets to her heart.
Which this part frustrated me, honestly, for two reasons. First of all, also found that Oster's death was somewhat anticlimactic.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't love. I wanted him to suffer a lot more
I
than he
really like
did.
the audiobook part of this though, because you could
Okay.
just like hear her emotion of how like torn she was. Like,
Oh,
but
okay.
you were my friend and I wanted you to be good and I could tell that you loved me and I loved you and like that kind of stuff.
hmm
But like we can't be doing this for forever, kind of thing. You let greed and pride and everything else take over your heart, and that wasn't
hmm
good. And so I really liked that, and you could hear the
Okay.
emotion in the narrator, so it was
That's
really
fair.
good. Yeah.
On a note
Um,
on that, also, I kept thinking that this poor guy, like, I don't like Oster, obviously, cannot stand him. However, this poor guy has been friend zoned so hard.
like
Even,
so fucking hard.
like, even before his last breaths, he was friend zoned. She's like, I loved you so much as a friend. Like,
But you're
I
not
never
the
loved you
one
the
for
right way
me.
as a friend. Like, poor guy got friend zoned, like, hardcore.
Yes.
But, um, okay, hold on. Where was I here? Oh, my other thoughts. Okay, so yeah, I did feel like his death was somewhat anticlimactic. Like, maybe the terrible person in me wanted him to suffer a lot more than he did for all the things he put her through. Um, but Also, the whole like I thought that they had to be stabbed in the heart. Like they've said that multiple times that the weapon with the other person's blood on it had to go into their heart to kill them. So this whole like all of a sudden now she got stabbed in the stomach, but it's gonna make it to her heart frustrates me a little bit because I could have sworn I've heard it like at least two or three times that it had to be stabbed in the heart to kill them. So,
Okay, so chapter 25. Aquilo is like with the king and the temple, and he also has Katrina, which is Cypher's bonded. Aquilo is one of the other
mhm.
brothers. And I'm pretty sure these are like the bodies he's going to use. He's going to use their bodies to bring
Yep,
Dawn and Dusk back to make
give
them
them their mortal form
a
or whatever.
form to be able to kill them. Yeah.
Yeah. And Aquilo's the one that Estrella tore his wings out
Hmm.
at the end of the last book.
Yep. And then also Katrina has no wings too. I don't know if that's going to be like a thing, but
Yeah.
could be. Um, and as far as we know, like they've disappeared through the mirror, I guess.
Or something like that. Yeah. Or like, yeah,
Hmm.
that part was
Yeah.
unclear, but yep.
And then also, Nadia, you treacherous bitch.
Oh, I know. She's been on the wrong side the whole time. And I believed that I did not trust her for a very long time.
Yeah, I know. You
But
said
then I
so.
did start trusting her. Probably
I
like these
trusted her
guys.
completely. I was like, yeah, she's cool. She's badass. And she's gonna like love on Dresden. But I'm still holding out for her.
I know, me too. I still kind of wonder
I feel
if she's gonna figure it out.
she's
She's
good.
gonna
And
go
I
back to
feel
the right
like
side.
Dresden knows.
Yeah.
There wasn't
Yeah, I
enough
got
of
the
a
same vibe
fight.
there.
And she didn't fight Knight or Dresden.
No.
It was the other like vampires that they were
She
trying to
even
fight off.
kind of helped them get away a little bit, where she was like, if you're gonna
I
run,
was
run now, or I'm
thinking,
gonna kill you, basically.
yes, that's why I don't
Yeah.
think she's bad. I think she's working double agent and decided what side she wants to be on.
Well, and I think she did fall for Dresden too, a
Hmm.
little bit,
Yeah.
and she wasn't planning on that. So I think that that might also help bring her back over a little bit here. Yeah, we're on the same thought process with that one.
I will actually be shocked if she is just bad, bad.
Yeah, me too.
I think that'll shock me more.
Yeah.
Um, so chapter 29, where we leave this off, like the last plot point I have before we go into the final section of this trilogy
Hmm.
is that right now we have the gang, which is going to be splitting up, and everybody has to have at least one other person with them. That was kind of like the argument they had with Driston that he's not going to go off on his own.
Hmm.
Um, and they have to find the remaining 15 dragons slash key pieces.
Yep.
So some of them will just be
Duds.
duds, but they have to find the what, four pieces, four remaining pieces.
No, five, because the one that they found was also a fake.
That's right. That's right. So we have all five pieces of the key we have
Yep.
to find. And at each of these temples, there will be a dragon. So
Yep.
we are going to them all to go waken the dragons and find these key pieces.
It was a good place to leave off. Wasn't like a
It
major cliffhanger or anything, but it
wasn't a
was a
major
really good
claim.
stopping point.
Yep, it really was. So, but yeah, that's where we stopped. And I cannot wait to finish this book.
Me too.
But before we finish reading, let's get into quotes and honorable mentions. Um, so I had from chapter 1, and I think this is important and it goes with my thoughts and theories.
Okay.
So, oh my starlight, this is night. Oh my starlight, our collision may be a masterpiece crafted for the wall of hell, but should that be next where we meet, you would rule the underworld triumphant.
I almost put that here too. Mm-hmm.
I think that's very important.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Um, and then I also have chapter 25. This is Estrella, I believe. So Oster Nova was dead. Our war was with the gods now. And I'm adding this
Yeah.
because we've had several conversations about like who the big bad was in this series. And we had resoluted that it was the king and not the gods. That we thought like the big fight was going to be
Hmm.
with the king and not the gods. And so we are circling back and declaring that we were wrong. Believe it
Yeah,
or not, we didn't catch that one. But maybe. I mean, I personally think that the king is a god of sorts, just from a different realm. And he's
we don't
just
know his
jumping.
name.
Yep. And I think he's just jumping realms and fucking shit up until he has power.
Yeah.
Because that's what he wanted. Because, like, how Knight was saying something about how, like, the king had a brother and, like, the
Yeah.
king didn't have any power, something like that. And so now
Yeah, he was like second in line, so then he searched for
he's just
power.
pissed off about everything. And so just jumping around until he has what he wants and he can make the
Yeah.
world he wants.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think that's why he had Knight's death, so he could literally clear out a world for him.
Yep.
So, Love Island. Do you have anybody for Love Island?
No, just already what we talked about with Dryston and Nadia was the only
Yeah,
comments I was gonna have for that. So,
I was thinking that too. Okay, thoughts and theories. Why don't you go first?
I was gonna say you go ahead and just go for it because I don't really have any clear thoughts or theories.
Okay. My main one, my most important one is where the fuck is the pirate overlord?
Right?
I have been waiting for this pirate overlord since book one, and I need to see it, and I need to see Volcano Atlantis, okay?
It
And I want
better
to
come
know.
up. We have half a book left in this
I
whole series, so
know, I know.
they dangled it in front of our face in
And
book
if I
one.
find out that that like was also part of a crossover, I'm gonna be pissed off.
I know. I know. I have FOMO
Um,
so bad right now without reading the other one.
I know you get it
I
real bad.
hate
I
not doing that.
don't.
I
Yeah.
hate that bothers me so much. I was ready to stop and not
You
start this
sent
book.
that to me, and I could tell you were actually
I
distressed.
was distressed.
And I was like, girl, I don't know, but I know I'm tired. We got a wedding, we've got birthdays, we've
We
got
just come
Mother's
off of a
Days.
bachelorette
I'm
party,
helping
like
plan the bachelor
weekend.
party. I'm like, girl, I'm tired. These next couple weeks are going to be rough. These past couple weeks have been rough. And then you sent me that,
Oh,
and I'm like, I feel you. I promise I feel you.
I feel you, but shut up and stay the course. That's what you're telling me. I got that. I
Kind of.
got
That
that.
is kind of what I said. I don't think I was like, I don't know, but I think we should just finish reading this like we were going to.
Oh, yeah, it's bothering me bad. I will be reading that other series because I can't handle this. I can't do
Yeah.
it.
I think I will, but I don't think I'm gonna jump into it
The first book's only
because
like 300 and some pages, so I'm like, oh, I can blow through that.
well, that's not bad. But yeah, there are 6 books. So
Yeah, I know.
and I believe it's An Heir Comes to Rise.
Yes, I think that is the name of the series.
Okay.
Or no, at least the first book. I
At
can't
least
remember
the
what the
first book.
series is.
Yeah.
Anyways, continue with your thoughts and theories. My
Yes.
bad.
So, I know that I've said this before, and we kind of talked about it earlier, is that I think the only way that this like is a quote unquote happy ending is Knight and Estrella have to leave this place.
Yeah.
They are neither one from this place, I believe. And after like that first quote in the beginning, about how she'd like rule the underworld,
Hmm.
I think she's also because she has okay, so there's like the guardians tell her about like the god of gods, and Cassia has mentioned the god of gods or whatever. I think
Hmm.
death is the god of gods because he's talking about like the balance and stuff. And I feel
Hmm.
like she's going to be not necessarily like the St. Peter, if that makes sense, like
Hmm.
deciding who gets in and out, but I think that might be part of it.
Hmm.
And then so
Well,
she will
Cassia
be in
says the
this
Queen of Gods, that like it has to
or
be the
Queen
Queen
of
of
Gods,
Gods or whatever.
yeah.
And yeah,
And so I feel like that is kind of where she's going to become. And Knight is obviously going to be able to follow her because he's not connected to Knight's death anymore.
yeah.
And they are going to be in this rift of death, more or less. And I think that's where they are going to be their own happy ending.
Well, I think they're going to be able
Or,
to restore that place by, killing Dusk and Dawn. And then, like Death had said, like, my land, your land will soon look like mine if you guys stay this course that you're on.
yeah,
And my land used to be beautiful. And so I think, yeah, I agree with you that that's like where they're going to end up. They're going to kill Dusk and Dawn, restore the balance.
I think the Celestials have to go.
I agree. I agree. Their creation of Dusk and Dawn.
Their creation and a
Mm-hmm.
mockery of the archangels
Yes.
that carried the souls or whatever. So,
Mm-hmm.
yup. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, and I've been thinking that obviously for a while, but now I have like a little
Yeah.
bit more evidence to kind of steer me in more of a direct path. But
Yep.
I think that's what's going to end up happening. I think it's obviously going to be pretty quick, however it happens. I think the king has to go too, but I think that is going to be Drysten's fight with the king.
Yeah.
I feel
I
like that's
think I
Drysten's
agree
fight
with you. Mm-hmm.
with the
Mm-hmm.
king. Um, and I wouldn't be surprised if the king disappears to the mirror and like that's the end of this book.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's Drysten's fight. I do think that another very close person is going to have to die by the end of it just to have
Ooh.
that. You know what I mean? I just don't know who. I
You
hope
don't
it's
know
not
who. Okay.
Drysten. I hope it's not Drysten, but that would kind of make sense.
I hope not also, but I have been feeling for a long time now that eventually he is going to
He will
die.
feel like that's how he makes it right type of thing. But I also don't wonder if she can grab his soul and bring it back or whatever. But
Good point.
um
I wouldn't be surprised at all though if Dresden dies.
because Night can pull souls and she can pull souls. Nobody knows why, other than the
Yeah.
soulless, but they like eat the souls.
Right.
Um, yeah, that's kind of what I'm wondering. And then there's also like I kept thinking of it as like the Garden of Eden, and I don't know why, but like
Mm-hmm.
the resting place of the guardians.
That's how I've been imagining it too
And then
in
there's
my
like
head.
there's that. So I don't I don't know. There's some pieces, but I feel like there's this like they're going to another realm and that's where they're going to live happily ever after.
Yeah.
And then Zath and Rose are obviously going to live
Oh,
happily
yes.
ever after.
And I think the twins, these brothers,
You
they're
think they're going to come
supposedly
back?
at North Star already, which this was way in the past. So who knows if they're still there? No one's seen them though. And so I think that they also are going to come back. I don't know what side they're going to be on, but I do feel like they're going to, I kind of think that they're going to come back and help Dryson and Estrella with this whole Mirror King Dusk and Dawn situation at North
Situation.
Star.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. But yeah, I think she's going to die. I think she's going to die at the end of this.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's kind of where my thoughts are
And Knight
probably
is
going
going to go
to.
with her, just like he said.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I just don't know if she will come back to a new life after she dies the final time or whatever.
This will be the third time.
Third time's a charm.
Second, no, second time. Second time. She's died once.
She died twice. She
Well,
died
she died at
when
the hands of
Oster killed her,
Oster.
and then
Hmm.
she died again when she went to the rift.
Oh, true. But she had Light's death in her, which remember, like when Knight had Knight's death, he died like 7 times just because he broke the bond or whatever that they
Oh
made.
yeah, and then she still
And they
has
can just
Light's
die
death,
over
which
and over
was
and over. Mm-hmm. Mm, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, where the fuck is a pirate overlord? Now, where what
That
are
too.
what are your thoughts and theories?
That's it.
That's
I just
it.
jump off of yours. I mean, I'm pretty
That's
I'm on
true.
the same
Yeah.
page as you
We're on
on
the
that
same
on
page
that
at
all.
this
I
point. Yeah.
definitely did not have words to put while I was thinking together. So you did a great job.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Cry counter. Did you add to it?
I did not. For the series, I am at a 1.0 currently. I did not
Nice.
add to it this book though, so far.
I'm still at 0. This one's not getting me. However, if Eli the dragon dies, I'm raging, man. It's just gonna be a
Right.
fire emoji. I'm
If the
pissed.
dragon dies, she's done.
Yeah. Well, cool. But before we head out, thank y'all again for following along with us for our first year.
If you've been here this long and haven't shared with your friends or followed us on all of our platforms, please gift us that tonight.
Yes. So the next episode, we'll be finishing the Nightfall Trilogy by Chloe Penaranda.
Then what are we reading?
Drumroll, please. That was my belly. I didn't know what to drum it on. I would like you all to join me on a voyage,
Ooh.
a pirate voyage. In 2 weeks, we will be headed into the Everseas with LJ Andrews and the Ever King.
I'm so excited.
Me
I have wanted to
too.
read that for so long.
I'm so stoked. So I think for now, we're just going to read the first two books. So it's the Ever King and the Ever Queen, because they are
Right.
considered a completed duology. But then the third book is called The Mist Thief. And then there is The Stolen Crown is coming out in, I believe, October. And then I just seen today that the Everseas series is supposed to be 6 books total. But I
Okay.
think they're all different, like standalones and duologies,
And duologies. Okay.
all within the Everseas. So, but we will just be doing the first 2 books for now.
Okay. We hope you are all enjoying reading with us for now for a whole year. To keep up with our next reads and other fun book related stuff, do all the things liking, following, and subscribing on all of our platforms.
For next week's episode, we'll be finishing The Dark is Descending.
If you can't wait to talk about it, you can do so over on the Fable app and discuss with us spoiler free chapter by chapter.
And as always, buddy reading any book with Book Besties is so much fun.
So make sure to share our podcast with your book besties. And if you don't have any book besties,
Then become one of ours. And until next week, fill those drinks with ice.
and your books with spice.
Bye. I'm so tired.